Hi, this is Stu Turgel, your host of the PHOENIX File, a weekly news magazine and community conversation with the people and programs making a positive impact on the quality of life in our community. ARCH believes that individuals with disabilities should be given every opportunity to develop both physically and mentally to the full extent of his or her potential. People with disabilities should be given opportunities to learn about basic living skills, self-care, medical care, parenting skills, sex education, child care, home safety, money management, and much more. ARCH's 5-acre recreation center in the heart of Phoenix offers a full range of skills-based programs and activities enabling adults and children with developmental disabilities to obtain higher levels of physical well-being, pride, independence, and self-esteem. You'll hear all about this and more on tonight's edition of the PHOENIX File when I welcome my guests Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder of ARCH. That's coming up next right here on Radio Phoenix, where the Valley comes to talk, sing, connect. Good evening, I'm Stu Turgel, and this is the PHOENIX File, a weekly news magazine that features the people and programs making a positive difference on the quality of life in the Valley of the Sun. On tonight's show, I'm going to introduce you to ARCH, a 5-acre recreation center in the heart of Phoenix, which offers a full range of skills-based programs and activities enabling adults and children with developmental disabilities to obtain higher levels of physical well-being, pride, independence, and self-esteem. Joining me in the studio tonight to talk about these important programs and the work of ARCH are Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder. For Vera, ARCH's mission has been in her family for decades. Born in Pennsylvania, the youngest of 5 children, Vera's family moved to Phoenix in 1963 for the health of her Down syndrome sister. Due to the fact that services for the disabled were next to none in the 1960s, Vera's mother started the first summer day camps for the handicapped and brought Special Olympics to the state of Arizona. Vera volunteered for years at Special Olympics and various programs that her mother developed. Her mother was also one of the founding directors of the Arizona Recreation Center for the Handicapped, or ARCH. Vera volunteered at ARCH throughout high school and worked in the DropIn Program her senior year. She continued to volunteer on weekends and school breaks while attending college at Northern Arizona University. After college, she returned to the Valley, realizing her calling, and started working for ARCH on a full-time basis in the fall of 1982. And today, she's ARCH's program director. Now, Jennie Halbroeder serves as ARCH's Grants and Communications Director. She's responsible for the website, marketing, communications, and grant writing. And she also helps with information technology issues, and she runs a weekly media club for ARCH participants. With over 23 years of experience in working in the nonprofit sector, Jennie is a native of Great Britain, and she's been in Phoenix since 2015. Jennie holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Archaeological Science and a postgraduate certificate in Community Work and Regeneration. Before coming to the U.S., she ran her own events company in the U.K. So Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder, thanks for being here tonight, and welcome to the PHOENIX File.
Thank you, Stu. It's a pleasure to be here.
Vera, your involvement in the developmental disability community has been really a central part of your entire life. I mentioned that it was your mother who actually was the spark plug that helped create ARCH. I know that ARCH opened its doors in 1975 to 25 teens and adults in an old abandoned elementary school on Grand Avenue. ARCH has evolved dramatically over the years, so why don't you share with us a sort of virtual family album of ARCH so we'll better understand the mileposts along the way that have been major steps in the organization's development.
Okay, well, actually, we started with 2 people, and it continued to grow from there. There was one staff hired. That was our executive director, Kip Murray, who is still our executive director today. We've come a long way in 42 years. It's hard to believe. But a little history, and I call it the Great Fire of 1983, is when some kids broke in and burnt our main recreation area completely to the ground, destroying everything. So we moved into our adjacent gymnasium next door, scrubbed off our desks, started programming the next day off the stage, and started to look for a new home. So then we searched throughout the valley. We found some city land and then started a campaign, buy a brick, build a foundation, negotiated with the city of Phoenix for land and a lease, and got a grant and moved into our new home on where we are today in April of 1987. From there, we continued to develop and grow. We built our gym, started it in 2000, completed it in 2002, and really involved the entire community around us. So it's not just for our people, but we've involved the entire community. We have our sports and recreation complex, the field and concession areas in 2008, our Arch Kids program and a new building in 2015, and a playground to go along with that just last year in 2016.
So a lot's happened in 42 years.
Oh, yeah.
Just seems like yesterday, right?
Yep.
Well, Arch has a very clear and inspirational mission statement and a set of values that not only tells people what you stand for, but also how you work to carry out those values. So share with us your mission and your values.
Okay, so you already mentioned a little bit earlier about some of these, but overall we're trying to help people with disabilities and special needs have a better quality of life. We provide therapeutic recreation services, different wellness programs and health programs, lots of opportunities for socializing with friends, and also lots of classes teaching basic living skills. We have many different values that kind of permeate all our different activities. One of them is personal development, so we try to promote independence and help people develop their own potential. So everyone has their own kind of set of gifts and interests and skills, and we offer a very, very wide range of activities, so there's always something for people to choose from. Choice is one of our kind of main things that really sets us apart, that there is the whole structure of how we operate our activities is that participants can choose each day what they do. So there's a range of activities run concurrently alongside each other. So they can choose, they might be in a fitness class, one part of the building, and then they might be out on the soccer field doing a sport. Some of them might be out an outing, going to see a movie. So there's a whole host of different things happening every day, like Monday to Friday for them. And also we try to make it affordable for them. So that's one of our kind of core principles. 85% of our participants are from low-income families. Many are not state-funded, which is sometimes hard to understand. But so we try to make all the programs affordable so everyone has accessibility to everything.
There are a set of eligibility criteria for someone with a developmental disability to participate in your program. So tell us a little bit about what it takes to become eligible and how many people do you serve each year?
Well, Stu, actually, we have very broad eligibility requirements. We've always looked at it that anyone with a handicapping condition or a disability is welcome to come to our center. So they don't have to go through any processes. If they have a desire and a want to come and participate, they are welcome
So
to.
it's pretty open.
Yep.
It's an open structure.
Yep.
That's great.
And we currently are serving about 300 people each week and about approximately 5,000 different individuals every year.
So that's a lot of people coming through. What type of staff do you have?
We have a good core, and our staff we've retained because we are such a family atmosphere. We currently have 32 people on our staff.
Okay, so that's a good number of people. There are certainly other organizations that provide services to the developmentally disabled. So what differentiates Arch from the other local agencies and organizations that are also providing services to that community?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is our drop-in program. No other agency in the state, and we're one of 3 in the country that offer a drop-in program. So that's anybody off the street, anybody that has a disability, doesn't receive any kind of state funding or anything, can come to our program. That's what we were started on, the basis that they can have a place to come to. There's no set criteria, and we're open to all ages, all disabilities, so it's not just for a specific disability. Some agencies are that. So.
Is there a cost to that program?
The drop-in program is $2 per day or $40 a month. if they can afford it. And we have quite a few that are on scholarships that come for $20.
But $2 a day or $40 a month
Yep.
is it cost me more when I put my pet in daycare at PetSmart. So
Yep.
you're providing some wonderful services
Yep.
for very, very little cost,
And
if at any.
Yeah, we raised that about 20 years ago, 15 years ago. We went from $1 a day to $2 a day. So,
You
yeah.
doubled your cost.
Yes.
I bet you got a lot of flack. No, I'm just kidding. Let me remind our listeners that one way that they can support Radio Phoenix is by becoming one of our sustaining members. For as little as $35 per year, members receive discounts, savings, and other benefits provided by our membership program partners. And don't forget, the membership fee is tax deductible. So for more information or to sign up, call 480-829-5746, or you can go online to radiophoenix.org. Click on the support tab at the top and then become a member on the drop-down menu. We thank you for your generous support of community radio. Well, we talked a little bit about the drop-in program. Then there is day treatment for adults.
And that is a state-funded program, so the individuals in that program receive funding from the state to attend. And it's day treatment and training for adults. They learn on money management, independent living skills, whatever everyone's individual goals might be. It might be learning to tie your shoes. It might be learning to take care of a checkbook. It's all set up. And one of the other things that I wanted to touch on is our extended hours, that a lot of the programs go from until 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and Arch is open until 6:30. So it really accommodates parents that are working and can't be at home for their child to be dropped off, or even their adult at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So the age range for the folks that you're seeing and providing services to ranges from what to what?
8 to
Whatever.
85.
So 8 years old is the youngest.
Yes.
But all the way up to somebody who's in their most senior years.
Yep.
Is there a cost for the day treatment program?
There is no cost to those individuals that are funded through the state, through Department of Economic Security, Division of Developmental Disabilities. That's a mouthful. But we're one of the few agencies also that will accept somebody on a private pay basis if they're not, quote, in the system, at a much reduced rate from what it would be.
Thanks. Well, we're going to take a short break for some messages, and then more of my conversation with Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder of Arch. You're listening to the Phoenix File. I'm Stu Turgel, and this is Radio Phoenix. Welcome back to the Phoenix File. I'm your host, Stu Turgel. And in the studio tonight are my guests, Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder. And now more of our conversation about Arch. Well, when we left off, we were talking about day treatment programs for adults. But there are kids that are still in school. And you do provide some incredible services for the youngsters who are still in school. And you call it the Arch Kids Program. So what goes on there, and how does someone take advantage of that activity?
Pretty proud that we started the very first after-school programs back in 1983, and that has continued to grow. We have 2 locations. I mentioned earlier we just built a new dedicated space for the Arch Kids program there at our main center, and it's for school-age special education students, kind of like a latchkey that they have a place to go after school while parents are working, safe environment taken care of. If they need homework assistance or anything, they can release some energy and not be bouncing off the walls when they get home.
I bet they release a lot of energy.
Yes, and especially with our new playground that just got built, it's they just love it. And it's also available for early release at the time of school release, on breaks, Christmas breaks, spring breaks, those types of things. We do all-day programming for them, so families don't have to worry about, do I have vacation to take off, because kids have a half day or a day off here. As you know, your work schedules don't always follow the school schedules.
Right.
That's exciting.
Do you charge for that program?
Same thing, it is state funded, so those that are receiving services through the state do not pay anything, but we do also have some private pay, and that is very reasonable also. They pay $60 a week to attend.
All of the
Yeah.
services are extraordinarily modest in their pricing structure.
And then we provide transportation as well for those programs. If the school bus can't drop them off, we will go pick them up from school, and then probably about 80% of them we deliver home at the end of the day.
You get them all home.
Yep.
At the end of the, all right. One of the programs that sounds like something I'd like to take advantage of is the Adventure Club. I saw that on your website. So tell us about the Adventure Club.
The Adventure Club is anything from a weekend camp out to a major out-of-state vacation. I just got back the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I had 50 developmentally adults in Laughlin for 2 nights. We had a blast.
What did you do?
Well, they took the riverboat ride and played bingo and, of course, played the slot machines, and all went out to the karaoke bar and danced the one evening. So they just had a blast. And we do, like I said, anything from weekend campouts to major out-of-state. We do a week-long California trip. We hike to Havasupai Falls every year. That's an annual trip where if somebody comes up and says, I want to go do this, I throw it out there. If we can get enough people and interest, I'll set it up and we'll go. Been to Hawaii twice.
Sign me up.
All right.
It sounds like it's not just a benefit for the developmentally disabled individuals, but in a way it sounds like it's a respite opportunity for some family members as well.
Definitely. You know, a lot of times they don't get to take a vacation or have time off. So this gives them an opportunity. I've got a lot of families that if we're going on a week trip, they're scheduling their vacation for, you know, a husband and wife that haven't been away together for 20 years alone or something. And also it gives them, because I get great prices, and it gives them the opportunity to see something that they may otherwise never get that opportunity to.
So it really works for the whole family.
Yeah.
It's not just for the individual who's your client.
Correct.
That's right. Jenny, you work on something called the Media Club. Tell us a little bit about the Media Club.
Okay, so one of the things we mentioned earlier was that one of our principles is that we try to give every opportunity to everybody. Believe that if you have a disability, you should be allowed to have access to everything, like people without disabilities. That includes knowing how to use your cell phone, things like that, how to use a printer, how to download pictures. I've only been working at Arch for about 2 years, and I started to notice quite early on people coming up to me and asking, can you put my Wi-Fi password in again? And a few days later, can't remember how to do it. Could you do that again? How do I get the photos off my phone onto my computer? You know, all the things that maybe some of us take for granted. Things that all of us struggle with as well when we get a new phone and we have to transfer contacts and things like that. So I started to develop this idea that wouldn't it be great if we had a media club, just one of the activities every week, where we've got like a space for that. So we started to ask people, you know, what would you like help with? And we've developed that. And also we do a lot of fun things like watch movies and things, but we don't just watch the movie, we talk about the movie, we talk about how it was produced, how it was made, you know, for people who've got an interest in the kind of digital age.
So it's practical and serves a real important purpose for people.
Yeah.
I should tell our listeners that Radio Phoenix, along with our parent organization, the Arizona Community Media Foundation, has been working with the Civitan Foundation for quite some time. And we are training and teaching adults with developmental disabilities the whole realm of broadcasting functions. And so they are producing now a brief program that we are airing on Saturday mornings in our bungalow show. We provide a teacher to go work with them, and it's wonderful. It's been very inspiring.
That sounds
so
great.
we've got some personal experience, and particularly with respect to sharing media, and it helps them not only understand how to work all the equipment and think about what it is that they want to talk about on their program, but it really helps with their sense of self-esteem.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's very important.
Yeah.
So this is something maybe we can
Definitely.
talk about more at another
definitely.
time with you all.
Yeah.
Well, these are all terrific programs that you've got, but they need a place to call home. So why don't you describe your facilities and your campus?
Okay, so we have like a main recreation area, a room where we do various activities and classes. We also have a large training kitchen where we not just provide lunch but train people how to learn new cooking skills, and we also use that at events. We have a large full-size gymnasium and a performance stage. We have a lot of performing arts go on as well at Arch, that we use that a lot. We have a fitness centre with gym equipment, and we've also got our universal sports field outside. And then, as Vera mentioned, we've also got the new kids building and the playground at the back, and we're always looking for future ideas for developing the facilities further.
And where are you located specifically?
So we're on Coulter Street, 1550 West Coulter Street, so just up from Camelback, just off 15th Avenue.
So you're Central Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so it's fairly accessible for
Yeah,
for
we're
a lot
right
of
in the
people.
middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, and near the light rail and buses, yeah.
Now, for the longest time, you were leasing space and facilities from the city of Phoenix, but I understand that you've had great success in raising funds to be able to purchase the property.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and what will that mean for your program?
So for the last 30 years, as Vera said, we've been leasing the land from the city of Phoenix for a very nominal, monthly rent. Recently, the city needs money, so they came to us and said, for the fair market value, we're probably going to have to increase your rent. This was quite a substantial amount for us to pay each year, so we had a discussion with them, could we purchase the land instead? We'd already developed a lot of the facilities, improved it, new buildings, etc., and we started in conversation with the city about purchasing it, came to an agreement we could do that if we could raise $940,000, and we came up with a deadline, so we gave ourselves about a year to raise that money. We were successful, and we managed to raise the money by summer this year. So 7 major Arizona foundations helped pay for it, and many individuals as well who kindly donated. And it all went through in September this year. So now we officially own the land, so we can... First thing was we just took a big deep breath. So now taking a little breath, celebrating that, all these people helped us do this, and now we can start focusing on, what's next, how we're going to develop in future, new programs. And also, we don't need to pay that rent. The rent we were paying monthly, that has disappeared.
Well, let's talk about various ways that people can help Arch. The people that you serve are in real need of the services that you provide. Certainly charitable contributions are the lifeblood of any nonprofit organization. We know that, and so I'm sure you're always welcoming gifts. But are there some hands-on volunteer opportunities for people who would like to become involved?
So we have a lot of events throughout the year, proms and dances. We have a Christmas dance and spring prom, barbecues and different events. We have kids events and field days. So we do have volunteers come and help with those. They help to set up, decorate, help with serving food, chaperoning, just kind of befriending the clients at the events. So yeah, there's many opportunities. If they contact us, we can let them know what's coming up.
Well, Vera, when you went on your trip to Laughlin, were there other staff members that went, or do you have
Yeah,
volunteers?
we utilize volunteers for all our trips as well.
You have volunteers that go as well. So that's an important opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Because, obviously we can't take all of our staff to go chaperone. We still have programs running at the center while we're on a trip or doing something. So I usually have a few key staff will volunteer to go, and then I also ask parents, friends, family, anybody.
So for people who are interested in volunteering, or if they'd like some more information about Arch, how do they reach you? And why don't you share your website and your phone number?
Okay, so our website is www.archaz, that's archaz.org. That's the website. We also have a Facebook page, which is Arch, ARCH. Telephone number is 602-230-2226.
Very good. Well, in the time that we have left, I'd love for you to share a story or two about the positive impact that Arch has made in the lives of some of the developmentally disabled people and their families that you've provided services to. First names only, because we want to make sure that we preserve their confidentiality. But if you could just share some of the success stories, that would be great. One or two.
I'll go. There are so many because I've been involved since its inception in 1975, and the things that you've seen, and just with me, I've grown up with so many of these people just as my family. They're my friends. They're not necessarily anyone different. But we've got one young man that's in our Arch Kids program that had been kicked out of 5 different programs due to behavioral problems, He's a large young man. His name is Mike, and his dad, they live in Anthem. Dad would take him down to school to behavioral school here in town and pick him up every day. And it's just amazing that we've seen him now that we've been taking him. He couldn't even ride the bus before because he would get kicked off the bus, and then he got kicked out of taking a taxi. So now we go and pick him up, and I haven't seen, when he first started, he would hit people and cuss at him and yell and just was uncontrollable. And the other day, I was talking about this yesterday. He came up, and I was like, okay, is he going to hit me? Is he going to do what? And he reached down and gave me a big kiss. And he's like a 15-year-old, but he's about 1.5 feet taller than I am. So I was just shocked. I was like, wow, he has just come so far in the time. And every day his father comes and just thanks us and praises us, and, has been a real godsend for him as a single parent. So that's one.
You want to share one?
Yeah. So we've actually got 2 brothers called Jimmy and Dale. They've been involved for about 35 years with Arch, now in the 60s. Both got intellectual disabilities. They were abandoned by their family when they were younger, so they didn't have any family. So effectively, Arch became their family. Helped them find a home, sort out bills, kind of help any kind of day-to-day practicalities. Both have always participated in the Special Olympics. They've won a lot of medals. They're very skilled at sports. Unfortunately, Jimmy died about a month ago, or a couple of months ago. So now Dale is on his own. He's moved to a group home, but he still comes to Arch every day. Arch has still been his support through this process, and all his friends at Arch have supported him a lot. And despite everything he's been through, he's still always got a smile. He still, always wants to come and say. He always says, anything I can do to help, anything I can do to keep involved. So, So
that's terrific.
A great story.
Well, Vera and Jenny, thanks for being here tonight and to talk about Arch, and continued good luck for individuals of all ages with developmental disabilities. And that's our show for this week. Thanks again to my guests tonight, Vera Martinez and Jennie Halbroeder of Arch.
Please
join
Stu.
me next. You're welcome. Please join me next Tuesday night at 6:30 for another conversation about the very best in our community who are improving the quality of life right here in the Valley of the Sun. Until next week, thanks for listening to the Phoenix File. For Radio Phoenix, this is Stu Turgel.